Hey guys, my name is Bella and welcome back to Lamppost Studios. I'm so happy you're here today because today's video is very special. It is in honor of book 9.5 of Keefe Sencen that is being released really soon, and I know we are all so excited for it, and so I wanted to do a very special video. And so today I am going to be teaching you how to draw Keefe Sencen. Alrighty, grab your art supplies and let's get started. So we're going to start out by having some drawing paper, which is thicker than normal sketch paper. Then I have my heavy-duty mechanical pencil, and then a normal number 2 pencil. And then I have my blending tools, which you can find at Hobby Lobby and are very helpful. And then I have my 2 erasers, so I have my gummy eraser and then my other eraser, which both work really well. And at the moment, I can't remember the name of the brand, so I'll post that in the description below. And now let's get started. Step 1 is outlining. This step is probably the easiest part because you're going to be using just basic general shapes to get an idea of where you want your subject on the paper. I recommend using a number 2 pencil because it's a lot softer and it helps you to draw lightly so that you don't darken any shapes until you're completely satisfied with it. So just copy what I'm doing here, get those basic shapes on your paper, and work at it until you're satisfied. So you can see how I'm adding more detail to Keefe's hair now, and we all know how important Keefe's hair is to him. So use lots of curved and flowing lines that kind of stick up on the end to create his hair. Just play around with different styles or copy what I'm doing to make sure you get his hair looking perfect. Also, erase any lines that you don't need as you go so it won't confuse you as you're drawing. Just don't erase any lines that are important, and we'll show you where certain features need to go later on. Okay, so now we are penciling in Keefe's facial features, and I always like to draw on the eyebrows first because it kind of gives me an idea of where I want the rest of his features to go. And then kind of as I work and I pencil in his eyes right underneath his eyebrows and start filling in his nose. Sometimes I will fix the face around the features because sometimes I discover that it's too small or too big. So just continue to work around that and add in all of his features, his eyebrows, eyes, nose, and mouth until you're satisfied with it. If you feel like you need a little bit of help here and you would like me to make a video specifically on drawing facial features, definitely leave a comment below and I will get right to that. So first I'm going to start out by erasing all the extra lines that I don't need and to just get those out of the way before we move on. And this is a really easy step. I'm just going in and darkening all the lines that I like, and whatever lines that I don't like, I'm just going to erase those and get those out of there. So that's all this step is just tracing those lines that you like and erasing the ones that we don't need. This is also the step that I use to erase anything that I didn't like and go back and redo that. And I had to do that a few times on Keefe's shoulder, but you know, that's okay. I'm not completely satisfied with it, but that's fine. And this is also the time that I use to add extra details. So details that you want on his clothes, like the lines and extra lines in his hair to make it more wavy and stuff like that. So just have fun with it. Okay, don't freak out, but shading is not as hard as you think it is. So really just for this part, I use my soft pencil, the number 2 pencil, and as you can see here, I'm just going in and just gently shading over all of his hair. Then I go in with my blending tool and I just go in and smooth all of that out. And now I'm going to go back in and take my pencil and I'm just going to darken in all those lines. And then something that I like to do, which makes it look really cool and gives it a very neat sense of depth, is shading around each of those lines. Like I said, this brings a really cool sense of depth to the picture and makes it stand out a little more. Then I always take my blending tool and go in and smooth all of those shadings that I just did, and it makes it look so cool. Then again, I just continue to darken the lines around the edges and to continue using my blending tool just to smooth things out. I also like to go in with my mechanical pencil and add some extra detail to his hair. Okay, now for my favorite part. This is where I go in and I start darkening in the facial features. So I darken in the eyebrows, darken in the eyes, start outlining them, and using my blending tool to add tiny bits of shade around the eyes to give that sense of depth again, and doing the same thing to his nose and his mouth. And now I'm going to add a light shade over his entire face. So I'm going to use my blending tool to do this, maybe adding a little bit of pencil here and there, and just adding a consistent, smooth shade of pencil over all of his skin. Now, just like I did to his hair, I'm going to take my pencil and gently shade around each of his features, and then use my blending tool to smooth that out. Also, something to keep in mind is I also shade things that are farther away from the front of the picture. And things that are farther away are going to be a little bit darker. So shading the left side of his nose and darkening the sides of his face will help with that continued sense of depth and realism. And then I'm doing the same thing to his neck and jawline. Also, just a bit of encouragement here. Shading takes a lot of practice. I've been drawing for years and I'm experienced with pencils. I do this all the time. So really don't stress out about it if it doesn't look like mine or it doesn't look the way that you want it to. I am definitely not an expert though, but if you would like me to share some advice and tips on how to shade, I can definitely make a video on that. Just leave a comment below and I will get to that. But really, it just takes a lot of practice, so don't stress out. And now you can see I'm just finishing up the shading here on his clothes. So I'm using my blending tool to go in around the wrinkles on his clothes and continue to smooth things out a little bit here. Yay, we're almost done. Okay, this is the last step. This is where I use my gummy eraser and I go in and add just little bits of light here and there by erasing. And my gummy eraser is sticky, so you don't have to like rub it to erase it. It's like a softer eraser. So it's really good for adding things like highlights and little bits of light here and there. And the fun thing about gummy erasers is that you can roll and shape them in any way you want. And so I'm just going to go in and add highlights on his hair, on his face a little bit, like on his cheeks and nose, and then use my pencil to continue to sharpen things up. And now I've added just a few final touches and now we're finished. I'd love to see a picture of your drawing, so if you want to email me at lampoststudiosart@gmail.com, that would be great. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely don't forget to check out my other videos and keep an eye out for a very special video I'll be releasing very soon, and I will be unboxing book 9.5 of Keefe Velocities. Well, you guys have a very blessed day, and have a happy Thanksgiving.